How's everybody doing out there today? Welcome to the show. This is Nothing But Facts, and I'm your host, Papa G. So let's get it.
Get a job and work, and shit didn't work. Say all I'm qualified to do is ride and spit a verse. Get my feelings hurt every time I sit in church. Real talking dead at me, nigga got me feeling worse. So I ain't congregating about 7 or 8 months. Broke the promise made to myself and started back blazing blunts. I know that's crazy, huh? Feeling like a bad man. I look at me in the mirror, all I see is my dad, man. I got some things that I need to address. Couple issues need to get off my chest, like the fact that got a son, I ain't been kicking it with him. Got him a phone, I ain't been pitching it with him. Yeah, I miss my little nigga. I try to get him, but me and his mama don't get along. I mean, I call, but the bitch when I pick up the phone, my therapist asked me what I do, the things that I does. Got up, looked it in the eye, and my reply was,
All right. Welcome to today's show. All right, I'm your host, Papa G. And the title of the show is Father's Rights or Human Rights. So before we get started, let's go ahead on and open up with our prayer. We're over here in Lamentations chapter 3, verses 64 through 66, if you're interested. And it reads, Render unto them a recompense, O Lord, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart. Thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. May the Lord add a blessing to the hearing, receiving, and doing of his word, because we are in the season of doing his word. Okay? The topic today that we're talking about is father's rights are human rights. And father's rights are human rights, just like women's rights are human rights. Okay? And both are under attack by this new thing called transgender. Okay? And we have to stand up and clearly say that we have basic principles in life. All right? And the basic principles in life are family, male, and female. Okay? Those three things are what you need, okay, in order to have society. You cannot have society without male, female, and family. Okay? So, if you need those three things, where does trans come in there at? Trans don't reproduce. Trans is sterile. Okay? Trans does not identify with anything. It's just a whole lot of confusion, okay, for people who want to have a problem that seems to be so huge it's unfixable. All right? Because we are basic. Family. One male, one female, the offspring that they bring. Family. Husband, wife, the children that they have. That's family. There is nothing else. Okay? Then you turn around and you say, what is not family? Because in order to have what it is, you also have to have what it is not. And what it is not is a man and some children. A woman and some children. That is an abomination. That's all it is. Pure and simple. An abomination. Okay? If you have one woman and some children, one man and some children, that is not family. That is a single parent household. That is a failed relationship. Okay? We have to stick to the basics. All right. A male, has distinct features, has distinct characteristics. The number one thing that I'm just going to point out real simply, muscles, our strength. Okay. Ladies are protected by our muscles, our strength. Okay. And I'm not going to go further down that road. So when we understand that these people want to exist in a manner where they want to destroy fathers' rights so that they can accomplish this world that they're trying to create, that they're so boldly showing us today. What world are they showing us? They're showing us a world where the women and children of middle class and poor people are instantly being put on welfare, Section 8 food stamps and all this type of thing. The one who are unfortunate enough to have parents that have fallen victim to the child support. Okay, so those families are in just total debacle. All right. This is the goal of child support, the Attorney General, family court. This is the goal of the bully. You see America trying to be a bully all over the world, trying to promote homosexuality to countries and continents that are still traditional and historically have been traditional, and in a lot of their land is completely undeveloped and the people live off the land. How are you going to go to these people that are still living in their original state of existence and try to give them this new world order thing you got going on? You walk into a village where the place is made of straw and straw and mud, and you trying to tell these people that the men's supposed to lay with the men and the women's supposed to lay with the women. We got to do better. We got to do better. Look, another reason we need to stand up and fight for fathers' rights, and that fathers' rights are human rights. If we can stand up and be willing to fight and die for this issue, okay, what will happen is, after our long sacrifice and the fight is over, new incarceration numbers are going to steadily decline. And the criminal justice system is going to be left with just a bunch of old inmates. You understand? And so the bill is going to go in reverse, whereas if right now it's a plus, it'll turn into a minus, because the amount of infrastructure that they have will no longer be necessary, because you will allow fathers to have their sons. Do you understand what would happen? All right. The prison industrial complex, which is on the stock market, which is in people's retirement plan, would all of a sudden be a great revenue loss generator in the United States of America. And the people that benefit from it wouldn't even be able to stand up and outright protest what they mad about, because they wouldn't be able to say, I've lost my stock in the criminal industrial complex, because fathers have been given first right of parenthood to their sons. And so the rate of incarceration has declined in America in such a manner that criminal buildings that were once housing inmates are now being sold at public auction. I mean, this is real. This can happen, but they don't want this to ever happen. But this could happen. Giving fathers their sons would shake up all of the nonsense, the foolishness, everything that I'm going to talk about today that you see is affecting us as a society, us as a country, us as a world. It would all be nipped in the bud if you gave fathers their sons. Okay? So we're going to start with this here. I've already covered the first birth with you. When Adam was put into a deep sleep and the rib was taken from him, and then he was closed back up and it was woman. Okay, but we're going to go before that. And what is that called? That is called creation. And who is being created? Me, the man. You understand? And in that first creation, there was no woman involved. Call me a liar. There was no woman that went into labor. There was no woman that conceived. There was no woman that had contractions and delivered. No. It was the Father and the Son. The Attorney General, Family Court, Child Support, the state, federal, local government, your minister, all of them, you know, they all know this. The Department of Education, the Department of Correction. That's why they intentionally steer the children in the other direction, because if we allow things to proceed in their natural order, all of the things that are out of order that we see today would not be so. Because when you look at the world, when it was man dominated, there wasn't really no teenage pregnancy going on. You understand me? And unwed mothers. And I mean, that's just right off the top of the dome right there. Okay. But it sure wasn't a bunch of marauding young men running around aimless in life with nothing to do. You know, when we look at a culture that's dominated by masculinity, we're looking at a safe culture that everyone is thriving in. Okay, the problem comes in when you have people with attitudes of, not attitudes, but they have chemical imbalances that cause them to want to shift the normal things for the few that do exist in the abnormal. Okay, and we cannot allow the abnormal man to continue to speak out so loudly over the normal man. Okay, we have to like stand up for father's right, for fatherhood. Listen, Don Lemon, a homosexual man, said it's ridiculous that normal men reject abnormal men. How are homosexuals acting like they in the majority? You understand me? And how are they trying to take over everything? How is Don Lemon going to say that it's ridiculous that men don't accept trans men as men? Better yet, here's a better question. Why don't these trans people, instead of wanting to go into the women's locker room, why don't they instead want to come into the men's locker room? Why don't they choose to use the men's restroom instead of choosing to use the female restroom? Why don't they choose to use the male shower instead of choosing to use the female shower? Why don't they join men's sports instead of trying to dominate female sport? Because this is their objective, to divide and conquer us. You understand? So what they expect is for men to sit around and be bitter and not stand up and say, no, you will not go into the ladies' restroom. You will not go into the ladies' shower, and snicker like we a bunch of girls and laugh and be like, oh, you're getting what you got. You must be stupid. Those are our daughters, clown. You understand me? Those are our sisters. Those are our mothers. Those are our grandmothers. Okay? If you ignore masculinity and continue to try and promote what is not real, we're going to have a serious come to reality meeting, and it's not going to be nice. And you see those words I just used? I'm going to define those words in this broadcast, because you know Papa G, he get down with them definitions. You understand? You know, You see what Bud Light doing? And you see what Nike doing? Bud Light with the queer beer. All right, listen. I want to know if the NFL is going to drop Bud Light, because we got the NFL draft coming up. And you know it's always saying sponsored by Bud Light, sponsored by Bud Light. Well, trans men are not in the NFL draft community. I've never missed the NFL draft. I know. Okay, I was watching the NFL draft when it wasn't even interesting to watch. Way before it was just big old kerfluffle. Because I'm a geek about second, third, fourth round players. I'm a geek about numbers, about height, and all that type of stuff. What he can bench, how many times he benched it. You know, what is it? Is he aggressive? Is he a dog or whatever? So how is Bud Light going to now force the trans community on the NFL? And I understand that we say football is inclusive and it's for everybody, but let's face it. There are no women on the football field, and there are no trans people on the football field either. And we don't see trans people too much in the audience. Okay, this is outright injustice. You should not be trying to force. I live football. I live football. Football is never an off season for me. Okay, soon as football is over, I'm paying attention to what's going on with the trades and the pickups and the moves and the injuries and everything that's happening, you know, to now we getting ready for the draft. Are you serious right now? You think that I'm going to sit here and be satisfied with watching? And welcome back to the draft, sponsored by Queer Beer. Come on, man. You know, please. But I don't know what we doing, where we going. Now look here. I'm gonna get down to talking with who I'm here to talk to. I'm here to talk to my fathers. Fathers. You know, we know some things that guys who have not had a chance to really be fathers don't know. Like, if you are a father who's been blessed and lucky enough to be in the house with your children and raise your children, then you know what it's like to pot train them. Because you're going to be the one to do it, and you're going to pot train your boys. You understand me? You know, you're going to be the first one to give them sugar. You're going to be the first one to give them spices. You understand? These are the things that when you see an old man sitting down, got his grandkids ripping and running and everything, and he just got a smile on his face, you know what I'm saying? And you thinking he just happy to be sitting around them grandkids and everything. He is happy to be sitting around them grandkids, but he also seeing his kids when they was that age. And he getting able to reminisce and come full circle. Satisfied and happy with his life, happy with going on into his death. You understand? And the only way I can tell you this type of thing is because I've set myself up for this type of thing. Now, it requires continuous work. White supremacy wants to tell you that once they get 18, you can't tell them nothing else. But the same way, they never been 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before. They never been 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 before. And so on and so forth. So your role changes as a parent, and you become an advisor, and sometimes you become a teacher. Your role as a teacher is not so much anymore unless it's a teachable moment with experience. But if you're not hands-on, all hands on board, and understanding that this is a lifelong relationship, then you're going to fall for that white supremacy, and you're going to have your children out here each fending for themselves, you fending for yourself. Y'all never coming together to be a fist. You only just fingers on the fist. Your choice. All right? But fathers, we know that we the first ones to teach our sons how to comb their hair, all right? How to brush their hair, all right? We the first ones. First ones was playing with them. First ones to, do all kind of stuff. All right, play the fart jokes, all kind of things. You know what I'm saying? So This is what we want all men to be able to experience, what we have. And that's why we have to come together and get a petition going saying that we want men to have first right of parenthood, which is when a woman and a man separate, the male child automatically goes with the father. We need this clear and understood. Okay, now if the man refuses the child, then we'll talk about putting him on money. Okay, but if not that, then we ain't doing that. Okay, we're not doing that. We're going to go ahead on and say for a better society, for the decency of society, all right, for the good of humanity, that first relationship that sons have with their father is so crucial that we understand that we have to give the boys to their fathers. Okay? Look, men are in charge, and we're supposed to protect women and children. That's our duty. Okay? We fight, we are fighting a culture and a gender war. Okay, that's what's going on. And if there is no family, no male, no female, then what do we have? If we have to listen to these people with their bullpucky, okay, then we have to accept that there is no more gender, there is no more family in the sense that we know it. So how are the children to be made? All the children are going to be made in perversion, where some guy claims that he's a girl, but he has guy parts. Some girl claims that she's a guy, but she still has female parts. And they copulate under the delusion of being the opposite. And so even though she's carrying, he's still going through all of the things that she's supposed to be going. I mean, the delusion has to go so far. And instead of the so-called church, especially the black church, being in outrage and being all in the street and being vocal and being front and center, trying to save the black community, they hunkering down, hiding in the church. Shame on you. Shame on you. You know where that leads us though, right? That leads us to Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. You know it was coming. So let me go on and read it to you. And it says, "And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force." Everybody know what that means. And if you don't know what that means that violence is not off limits to the Christians, to the people of faith. If you ain't got no, and listen, don't have no problem with me. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that. That come from the book. That come from the book. And I'm not mistranslating it either. All right? So men, if we know that we're in charge and we here to protect the women and the children, why are we letting these other men who are really homosexuals, and they really, all they want to do is try and cause confusion, but ultimately all they're trying to do is get after our children, why are we allowing them to now take their perversion and be able to go into our ladies' locker rooms, our daughters, sisters, mothers, wives, cousins, sisters, nanans, nieces? Why are we allowing their private areas to be violated and acting like we don't see that that's men going and do that, and accepting the fact that the ladies are the weaker sex, and it is our job to stand up as men and say, let me tell you something, partner, it's fine that you feel like a woman, but you better not go in there where my daughter went. You got the same equipment as me. You go in the same place I go. And that's it. You know, and we have to be strong enough to stand up, even though there's a lot of women supporting this. We are in charge, not them. So it don't matter what they saying. We the one gonna be held accountable. Now listen, I'm about to tell y'all about the people that is making all of this happen. And I'm gonna tell you what they doing, how they doing it. I'm gonna describe them. You understand me? Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the goddamn bully. Who's the bully? We know who the bully is. The bully is America, goddammit. And all the institutions that America has within it that is going against the natural order of things. That's right. That's right. Even the church, you know what I'm talking about, is out here foul. And y'all know it. Okay? So look, we're going to talk about the traitors. Who's the traitor? The traitor is child support, family court, the attorney general, okay, the federal, state, local government. In some cases, because of the institution itself, it's the goddamn country itself that we are in. Okay? Because of titans of industry, they have implemented institutions to try and keep themselves making a certain bottom line that they are traitors to this damn country themselves. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start out with what a traitor is before I get into how all of these institutions are traitors. A traitor is a person or entity, okay, who is not loyal to his or her own country and friends. A person who betrays a country or group of people by helping or supporting the enemy. You understand? Who's doing that? And how are they doing that? The entities that's within America that is trying to or have worked very hard or are still working very diligently in destroying the family unit. The family unit is the principle that makes America. The family unit is why we had enough human beings to field a military to fight World War I and World War II. Had we been a nation of homosexuals, our birth rate would have been too low to be able to rise a field, to field a military, you know, big enough to go out and accomplish the feats that we need to accomplish. So when the child support and the attorney general and the family court and all those other entities that support this, where the federal government is giving the state money and incentive to continue to create breeding farms and to continue to work toward destroying the family unit, they are traitors to America. They are traitors because if we allow man and woman to get married, the birth rate is going to go down. We are about to enter World War III. How can we enter World War III with delusional people, with disloyal people? Okay, listen, a man is a disciplined person. A man is, you know, when Ukraine got invaded, you know how many men wanted to leave? But what did they say? From 16 to 60, you better not move. Take up arms and get ready to defend your land. Now, you really think that the man who was calling himself a woman was treated like he was a woman then? Hell no, them people ain't feed into that delusion because it's not real. Traitor, traitor, traitor. That's what you are to your own country. Disloyal. Because you're supposed to be doing things to stabilize and strengthen America. You're not supposed to be doing things to stabilize and strengthen corporate America and leave us vulnerable to the foe that can come into our land barrier and take us. You are making, by going against masculinity in the manner that America has, you know, our unique thing about everybody having a gun and we can never be invaded is also becoming a myth. Just like the myth of Russia being so powerful and Ukraine exposing them for being so powerful. We are rotten on the inside. Soon as somebody break the shell, everything is going to fall in because the termites done ate up all the wood. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't going to even get into it. Tell your minister, break it down. You understand me? They're not loyal. Okay? These same entities I'm talking about, how they're not loyal? Because loyal means giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or an institution. Child support, family court, the attorney general, the state, federal, and local government is supposed to be loyal to the United States of America and the Constitution. You understand me? And so they're not supposed to destabilize us in a manner where we're unproductive as a country to field a strong fighting force, where we're vulnerable to what is male and female and living in a delusion. You understand? Where we're trying to make the whole world raise up and come up against us. And their work is directly doing that. This is how the wood is. This is the weevils. This is the worm eaters. You understand me? I was just talking about. Okay? See, you're steady destroying the family. You're steady destroying the family, right? Okay? You're destroying what male and female is. So that's the foundation. That's the building blocks. All right? So now instead of the men being full of masculinity and integrity and being bold and being daring, you have a society of men who identify with being feminine, with estrogen, with the idea that a man can trans into a woman, okay, and abandon all their natural gender roles. So then when these people, okay, come across the line and they still holding all their masculinity, and the number one thing with masculinity is aggression, and they turn that aggression loose in these streets on us, the men gonna be running like women, dropping their guns. We can't let this happen. They are not loyal, okay? They don't have no allegiance to the United States by destroying the family unit and working so hard to do it. And then by knowing and not coming out and saying, listen, it's time for us to redo things. It's time for us to use the science and the knowledge that's out there to say that we have to reconstruct this system and put it in right for the good of society, the good of mankind. We've been doing wrong. You know, you see it every day. The TV, all of a sudden, it's a big time lawsuit been settled in quiet on some big old institution that's been fleecing and hurting America for a long period of time. And finally, they've been called to justice. Well, it's okay for child support, family court, the whole system to be called to justice and say you are working directly against America with what you are doing. And we need you to stop it. And we need you to stop it now. And we need you to start using the knowledge and the data that's out there. And we need you to make an aggressive effort in giving the male children to their fathers. Okay? And we need to, fellas, we got to get a law. We got to come together, man. We got to be willing to sit in that damn courtroom, fill that damn courtroom up, you know, be all outside in the street, man, one after another. Get up there and tell a judge, fuck you, I ain't doing it, and go to the penitentiary. And mothers, we need you to be standing in them lines with us too, talking about fuck you, I ain't doing it. We have to overthrow this system because it is destroying us as a nation. We're about to enter World War III, and so that corporate America and big business can continue to make money, because they make money all over the world. They're trying to take all of our founding identity away from us so that they can just use us as a slush fund, a misguided nation of people running around delusional. We know that a boy is a boy growing to be a man, and we know that a girl is a girl that grows into be a woman. Okay? So we have to stand up. Please. We have to call them out for being disloyal. All right? We have to call them out for their constant assault on family and their constant assault on gender. We have to point out the danger of the time that we're living in, okay, and why we can no longer allow them to promote this foolishness. Foolishness. Now, how are they betray us also? How? Okay? Well, first of all, let's define betray. Betray is to expose a group or a person to danger by treacherously giving information to the enemy. You see, you are disloyal. You see, so when you betray, all right, when you betray us, how you betray us, child support, family court, attorney general, at the base root, how do you betray this country and weaken this nation so that we are like rotten in wood that the termites done ate up all from the inside? As soon as somebody poke it just all cave in. How have you betrayed us to this manner? By destroying the basic family unit, causing such confusion and such dysfunction in this country that you've allowed the conversation to degenerate to the point to what are males and what are females, because everything is out of its natural order. And they are directly responsible for this, y'all. Men, we got to come together. We got to sign a petition. We got to go to jail. We got to have hunger strikes. We got to march. We got to fight these motherfuckers. Please join with me and help me, y'all. Come on, man. This is the civil rights issue of our time. Low-hanging fruit. Us having custody of our children, of our sons, man. I just got to ask the question again, though. Will the NFL still be sponsored by Queer Beer? I sure hope they don't. Now, look here. In other world news, we see that France is in open revolt right now. The citizens are in open revolt because they didn't raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. And I'm sitting here in America like 62 to 64. Shit, these people got to wait to 65 here. Boy, I wish, y'all, we always hollering about we the greatest nation in the world. And people fighting because they want to stay retired at 62. But back to the subject we talking to. That's enough of other world news. I got to shine a spotlight on Nike as well. Because Nike is selling women's sports bras using a boy with no breasts, okay, with a lot of makeup on his face, okay, to sell women's sports bras. All the women that's in sport, they go and get a little boy or a man that look like a little boy and do the sports bra. And ladies' leggings and all this kind of stuff. We got to protect the ladies, fellas. We got to show them what masculinity is all about. We got to show them why they cotton to us. You understand me? So I got a question. So if you lie and I don't agree with your lie, am I spreading hate? Huh? Because it's a lie. I don't have to agree with it. So if I know that a man can't menstruate, a man cannot menstruate. And if I know, and if I say that a man can't menstruate, am I spreading hate? Huh? Or if I say men cannot breastfeed, I need to go do more research? Is that real? I need to go do more research. I'm 51, about to be 52. Don't you think I should know what a man is capable of and is not capable of? The same way, all religion is false. Calling a male, born a male, a female is false. Those are just my thoughts. if something is wrong with me, I guess I'm just gonna have to accept it. Because I'm in touch with reality. And the definition of reality is the world or the state of things as they actually are. What does that mean? That means that I can say I feel like a girl, but when I go to use the restroom and I have to urinate, the fact of the matter is I can stand at the urinal. And if I can stand at the urinal, that defining thing means that in reality, I am a man. Women don't stand at the urinal. So listen, I don't make the rules. If what you are doing is wrong, you can't have a right to do it. All right? If you're a pedophile, you can't say, I have to have the right to be a pedophile. If you're a killer, you can't say, I have to have the right to be a killer. Now, if you're a trans, you got a right to be a trans to yourself, but you don't have the right to try to make everybody else say, when they clearly looking at Papa G can't say the G stands for girl, so I'm Papa Girl. And then, you know what I'm saying, they're going to be like, huh? That's a pawpaw, not a mawmaw. You see what I'm saying? So, people don't have to accept the unnatural and then say, we got to give the unnatural rights. And there is nowhere that you're going to look up the things that's going on, whether it be a man looking at himself, calling himself a woman. Nowhere is that going to be called natural. Nowhere is that going to be called natural. You understand me? Look, I'm going to leave y'all with this right here. We all know that the WNBA sucked. We know why the WNBA sucked. But for more than one reason, the WNBA sucked. For me, the WNBA sucks because I'm looking at a bunch of women that I know that if I was a young teenage boy, I could not put their poster on the wall because they don't want no man. You know what I'm saying? My sister, if she of that persuasion, I have their picture on the wall because they want women. That's no secret. Okay? The big one that was arrested in Russia, I forget her name, she had a female here calling herself her wife. Abomination. But Marcellus Wiley said something that I really do agree with. He said lower the rim to 9.5 feet. I say lower the rim to 9 feet so that you can open up dunking in the game. And I think that the WNBA would be much more exciting to watch if you made it easier for the ladies to dunk. I think that the WNBA should be a family sport like the NBA is a family sport. I think that Dennis Rodman was a pariah and everybody treated him like he was a pariah. And I think that we need to put things back in the natural order of things in the WNBA so that that business can be blessed. But as long as that business continues to be a den of iniquity, it's just going to continue to be what it is. Most parents don't want their children nowhere around it because we want our daughters to grow up and have husbands. And I'm not telling no tales. The majority of the women in the WNBA don't have men, biological males. So, listen, I like to shout out to Mr. Kevin Samuels, the late, great Kevin Samuels. A lot of knowledge there. You know, Mr. Andrew Tate, all right, fresh and fit. And everybody in the manosphere that's doing your thing. My Cash App is $Gil Muse. If you done hung with me this far, I really do appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, listen, I'm trying to get some good trouble started. I'm trying to get a good fight going. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get us in harm's way, but not for a black man killing a black man, but for a black man trying to stand up for his seed. For a middle-class poor man trying to stand up for his seed. You know, please, let's get a petition going. Let's organize. Let's get in these courthouses. Let's do it all over the place and just let them know that we ain't playing. We want our sons. Let's make this a conversation all over America. Just like they trying to open up a conversation about homosexuality, let's open up our conversation about fathers' rights. And let's not relent. Okay? So until next time, it's Papa G saying I love you and I love everybody. Peace.
Get a job and work, that shit didn't work. Say all I'm qualified to do is rhyme, spit a verse. Get my feelings hurt every time I sit in church. Real talking dead at me, nigga got me feeling worse. So I ain't congregating about 7 or 8 months. Broke the promise made to myself and started back blazing blunts. I know that's crazy, huh? Feeling like a bad man. I look at me in the mirror, all I see is my dad, man. I got some things that I need to address. Couple issues need to get off my chest, like the fact that I got a son, I ain't been kicking it with him. Got him a ball, I ain't been pitching it with him. Yeah, I miss my little nigga. I try to get him, but me and his mama don't get along. I mean, I call, but the bitch when I pick up the phone, my therapist asked me what I do, the things that I does. Got looked her in the eye.